Hello, good morning, students. We have seen the basic for the beginners: pronoun sujet, pronoun tonic, article definite, article and definite, months of the year, days of the week, numbers. Then we have seen about the nouns also. How nouns are classified into two types in French: masculine, feminine. How to identify masculine and feminine nouns? If it is a human living thing, we can identify. That means human beings or animals. We can identify by gender wise, male or female. If it is a non-living thing, if you are talking about non-living things, mostly we have to identify with the endings of the noun. Majority of the nouns ends with e comma ion or feminine. Then remaining all nouns and age nouns, the ending age and all the other consonant endings are masculine. Few exceptions also there that you have to memorize. Majority you have to follow these rules. Exceptions are there. For that you have to follow the for memorize it. No other way to identify. The endings will be ends with sometimes it ends with e, but it will be masculine, that you have to memorize while learning. Next, what you are going to see about verbs. Verbs you have already learned about it in the previous years. Before going to the lens, we have to know in detail about the verbs and what are the uses of the verbs, types of verbs, everything. If you have a basic knowledge about it, then it will be useful for you. Verb. What is a verb? A verb is a word used to describe an action, state of being of a sentence. It's a word. Verb is a word. In English, you will use the verbs to make a sentence to describe an action. Like that, you have to use a verb in French to describe an action, state of being of a sentence. They are one of the main parts of the speech. They are the main parts of the speech. What is happening in the sentence, you can express using the verb in that sentence. In French, a verb has six forms for six different subjects. There is only one form of the verb infinitive, but you will have it will be conjugated into six forms for six different pronouns. Subjects are there. Subject pronouns are there. Six different subject pronouns, six different forms of one verb, of that verb are there. In each tense, different tenses are there. In each tense, we have six forms for one verb in each tense. Those six forms of the verb are called conjugation. Six forms of any verb in any tense are called conjugation of that verb in that tense. That means example: present tense, past tense, future tense, like that. You can't use the infinitive form of the verb form, infinitive form, directly in the sentence. You should conjugate the verb according to the subject, given person. According to the subject, you have to conjugate. Conjugate means the form, you have to change the form of the verb uh, according to the subject. How to change the form? Ways are there, we will see now. The basic form of the verb is called infinitive. How we call the verb, any verb, the basic form, we call it as an infinitive. And is the name of the verb. That is the name of that verb. You have to know the English meanings. French verbs you are going to use from the lessons, but you have to know the English meanings while you learn. Then only you can understand any sentence and translate and answer any sentences. French verbs are classified into three groups of verbs. Verbs are classified into three groups. These can be further divided into regular verbs. The French verbs, all the verbs are classified into three groups. These can be further divided into what group? Regular verbs, which follow a standard pattern of verb conjugations, and irregular verbs, which don't. Conjugation. What is conjugation? Any form of verb for six different subjects. That forms are called conjugation. What is the how we call a verb? We call a verb as an infinitive form. Infinitive. How many groups of verbs are? Three groups of verbs are there. We will see what are the three groups. Three groups of verbs are there. How will you conjugate these three groups? Two ways. This can be further divided into regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs, how will you do the conjugation? We have to follow a standard pattern. Standard pattern. Irregular verbs, no pattern. No pattern, no method. You have to memorize, write, and practice. That's the way. This is the conjugation way for the verbs in three groups of verbs in French. Let us see what are the three groups of verbs. See here, these are the infinitive ending of the verbs. Infinitive endings of any verbs. What is ER is called as a first group. ER verbs are called first group. Mostly these verbs are regular. We'll see how to do the conjugation in the later. Mostly we call these verbs, that means ER group verbs or regular verbs. Here regular means the conjugation is easy to do. You have to follow a pattern. That's all. You can do the conjugation. You can change the you can do the conjugation for that verb by changing the endings, given endings. Example, parley verb, er verb, like this. The verb will be like this. That means the English meaning of the verb is to speak. Next group, IR verbs. We call this as a second group. Three groups are there. Just now you saw it. Three groups are there. Second group, IR verbs. IR verbs, here irregular is also there. Few irregulars are there. Few irregulars there. Regular, just now we saw how to do the conjugation. We have to, which is easy. We have to follow a pattern to do the conjugation. Irregular, no pattern, no way, memorize. Any example for IR group verbs? Finir, FINIR. What is the English meaning of this verb? To finish. Next, third group, RE verbs. RE verbs, third, we call it as a third group. Here, regular is there and few irregular is there. Many are there, but little only you will see, you are going to see in this 11th standard. Many are there. What are all the verbs? You learn that you are going to see in the 11th standard. In every lesson, verbs are given in the grammar part. We have to learn and memorize the verbs. That is the basic for the whole year, this year, and also the next year. That you have to practice. Vendre, example for RE verb, vendre, VENDRE. RE verb, meaning of that, English meaning of that verb, to sell. To sell. Then, in each group, regular verbs has its own pattern of conjugation, which is easy to do. You have shown in the previous page. Divided into verbs are divided into regular. We follow a standard pattern. That's why you are written here. For irregular verbs, there is no pattern to conjugate. We should memorize it. No other way. Now you got it. What is a verb? Now you got it. What is a verb? How we call it? How many types of verbs are there? How many groups of verbs are there? What is the meaning of the conjugation? How to do the conjugation? Everything you saw in this pages. We have to go through it, learn it. Learn it again and again. You will understand what is written here in the notes. What is a verb? How we call the 6 forms of the verb? Conjugation. How we call the verb itself? Infinitive form. We call the verb itself infinitive form. How many groups of verbs are there? 3 groups of verbs are there in French. How will you do the conjugation of that verbs? 2 ways to do the conjugation. Regular verbs, irregular verbs. Regular verbs, how will you do the conjugation? Regular verbs, you have to follow a pattern, method. There is a method, given method in your book. You have to follow it and do the conjugation of that regular verbs. Any type of any group of verb, ER, IR, RE. Follow the pattern. Irregular verbs, what you have to do? No way. Memorize it. What are all the verbs? How to do the conjugation? That you will see in the lessons. Clear? Now we have seen all the basic needed to know before going to the lessons. Now next, wait. Next topic what you are going to see is adjective possessive. This is used in the lessons. That's why we are all taking our the topics before going to the lessons. What are all we are taking is used in the lessons. Article defini, article and defini, pronoun sujet, pronoun tonic, verbs is also used. Nouns, we have to know how to differentiate the nouns. Then this adjective possessive grammar topic. This is also used in the lessons. If you know this earlier before going to the lessons, you will feel the lessons will be easy. If you know this little earlier before going to the lessons, you will feel it easy. The lessons. What is adjective possessive? French possessive adjectives are used in front of the nouns to indicate to whom or to what those nouns belong. Those nouns belong. French has different forms depending on the gender and number of the possessed noun. What is adjective possessive? French possessive adjectives are used in front of the nouns to indicate to whom or to what those nouns belong. In these adjective possessive, French has different forms depending on the gender of the number of the possessed noun. Depending upon the noun, you have to use the different possessive adjectives. Let us see the table. What are the possessive adjectives? Then where you have to use it, for which noun you have to use it. This is the table. This table, the possessive adjective table, is given in your first lesson grammar, but it is not given fully. It is little only they are given it. This is the full table. They are splitted into the two parts. First lesson they are given something, and in the second lesson they are given the something splitted. So I have given the full table. You can see it and compare it with your lessons later. Now these are the possessive adjectives. This persons, their subject pronouns you have shown in the first class. This is called the subject pronouns. Pronoun sujet. Je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle, plural. First three persons are singular, next three persons are plural. That only we call it, the order also we call first person, second person, third person singular, then first person, second person, third person plural. In that order we will call these pronoun sujet, subject pronouns. This is the subject pronouns. This is the possessive adjectives you have to use for that corresponding person. If the subject in the sentence is first person, he is talking about related to anything to himself, we have to use any one of these three nouns, possessive nouns are there for each person. Three possessive noun as a possessive adjectives are there for each person. First 1, 2, 3. For like that, for 6 different persons, 6 possessive adjectives are there. French possessive adjectives are there. If you want to use it for first person, anything related to first person, use this any one of these adjectives. Which one you have to use, that depends upon the noun. If the noun is masculine if it starts with a vowel, use this MON. If the noun is feminine if the noun is feminine, use this MA, possessive adjective. If the noun is plural, use this possessive adjectives, MES. For all the three, only one meaning my. For all the three, only one meaning my. Next, if you want to tell anything related to second person, use any one of these. TON, TA, TES. This one for nouns which is which is masculine or it starts with a vowel. AEIOUH. Use this. If it is feminine noun, use this TA, ta. If it is plural noun, use this TES. All the three same meaning only, your. For third person, if you want anything related to third person, use this S-O-N, S-A, S-E-S. Same order only. If it is a masculine noun, use this. Starting with vowel, use this. If it is feminine noun, use this. S-A. If it is plural noun, use this. Meaning his, her. English meaning. Now, plural. If you are telling for, if you want to use it for a first person plural subject person, then the possessive adjectives are notre, notre, no. N-O-T-R-E, N-O-T-R-E, N-O-S. For masculine, feminine, only one form only. If it is masculine or vowel, use this. If it is feminine, use this. Plural, different form, NOS. What is the meaning of all the three? Our. Second person plural. V-O-T-R-E, V-O-T-R-E. Votre, votre, vo. V-O-S. Same form for masculine and feminine. Plural only, you will have the different form. V-O-S. What is the meaning of all the three? Your. Then comes the last person plural. Possessive adjectives. Leur, plural form. For masculine singular and vowel, feminine singular and vowel, this form, plural, this form. I have to add yes to the singular form. What is the meaning of all the three there? How to use it? Let us see the examples. If you want to tell, if you want to use it for first person, je, you can tell, I like my father, M-O-N, per. You are using for the first person, I. J means I. I like my father. Father, gender wise, masculine. So, which one you have to use? First column. First column is for the nouns masculine and the vowel starts with the vowel. If the noun starts with a vowel or if it is masculine, use this first column fully, anyone, according to the person. If first person means, you have to use this. Clear? For first person, use this. My father, I. For first person, if you want to use this, I like my father. Per, P-E-R-E, you already seen in the vocabulary. Per means father. Gender wise, masculine. So use the first column, M-O-N. My father. Then, if it is feminine, mer, M-E-R-E, mother. Then you have to use the second column, possessive adjectives, M-A. For all the examples, I am telling for first person only, J, I. All the examples for first person. If the person changes, you can change the possessive adjectives. I'll tell it, explain it later. If the person changes, you can change the possessive adjectives. Then second person, first person, the feminine noun, mer, my mother. I like my mother, mer, my mother. If you want to say, I like my friends, subject is this one, J, then my friends, for how to use my friends, like this. Friends, A-M-I, singular. Here A-M-I-S, plural. Friends. Which possessive adjective you have to use? For first person, M-E-S. Because for first person you are using plural, M-E-S. I like my friends. Example. For example, if you want to tell it for second person, that means you. You like your father. What you have to do? If the subject is you, for your here I have written for my father. For your father, you have to, instead of M-O-N, you have to put T-O-N. Ton père, your father. That's all. Subject will be tu. Possessive adjective will be T-O-N. To aim, ton père. T-O-N. Ton père. That means your father. For your mother, same only. Instead of M-A, you have to put T-A. For friends, instead of MES, you have to put TES. Your friends. The subject will differ. For first person only, you have to use MON, MA, MES. If it is second person, you have to use TON, TA, TES. According to the noun, masculine, feminine, plural. Next, if you want to tell it for third person, il or L, he, she, then you have to use SON, SA, SES. Example, son père, his father. Sa mère, his mother. Ses amis, his or her friends. Anything will come. Son père, his or her father. Sa mère, his or her mother. Ses amis, his or her friends. Now you understood how to use these possessive adjectives. which is these positive adjectives are used in front of the nouns to indicate to whom or to what these nouns belong, to which persons they belong, to which person it is related. You have to use these corresponding possessive French adjectives. French possessive adjectives. I told the first three persons of three persons. Now plural. If you want to tell it for no, plural. No, we like our father. No, aimons, notre père. For masculine and feminine, same for only one form only. Notre père. N-O-T-R-E, P-E-R-E, père. Father, our father. Then for our mother, notre mère, because both are same only, notre mère. For plural only, nos amis, our friends. Now you got it? Then second person plural, it's easy only. You like your father, VOTRE. Vous aimez votre père, VOTRE, père, votre père. I have not given here, I'm explaining. For first person you have to use this, use like this. For different persons you have to use the different possessive adjectives. Votre père, votre mère, vos amis. VOS, AMIS, your friends. Now the last person, if you want to tell it for the last person, il and L, they. How will you use the possessive adjectives? Leur père, leur mère, their father, their mother, friends, LURS, leur, LURS, ami, leur ami, their friends. Clear? How to use the possessive adjectives? Like this. Example is given. If you want to try, write in your note and post it. For different persons, I will use this different possessive adjective, different nouns. How to identify the noun masculine, feminine? If it is human being, by gender wise, male, female. Non-living thing, by with the help of the endings, you can identify the noun is masculine or feminine. Okay. So, let us start the lesson in the next class. Go through it. We'll start the lesson in the next class. Thank you.